So, Dennis, it's wonderful to see you again. Just moments ago, we finished the final day of Festival of Media APAC Awards judging. You were our wonderful chair. Tell us a little bit about the experience and what it was like.
Well, nice to see you again, Jeremy. Again, thank you so much for inviting me again to be the chair for this year's Festival of Media APAC. Of course, like the experience is still the same. It's so insightful to see all of the best works in APAC. Of course, it's a bit different right now because we're doing all things virtually versus before we get to see everyone in Singapore. Hopefully, with restrictions now becoming loose, we'll be able to do that again. But I think the discussions have been very, very enriching, very, very interesting as well to see the diversity of entries coming from different markets in APAC. And it's also nice to see the good balance between traditional media still being relevant and now the movement towards a more digital landscape. But at the core of it, I think most of the entries didn't forget to basically clarify and crystallize the insights behind those campaigns. And I think it's worth to note that sometimes we get so excited with technology, but nothing beats understanding the audience and really understanding the job to be done for the brand or for your campaign and being able to find that right intersection between the two.
Yeah, absolutely. And I'm glad it's a great experience. And it was brilliant to see so many campaigns this year. We had a record number. And you've done this before. What did you think of the standard of work? And were there any trends or insights that you saw as you were going through the campaigns that really kind of stuck out? You thought, actually, that's huge now.
Yeah. Of course, I chaired Festival of Media in 2019, right before the pandemic. And I've seen a very, very different set of entries this year. I think the context is that if you look at it, COVID has struck APAC the hardest. During the Delta wave, we have seen a lot of lockdowns in South Asia. During the Omicron stage, we have seen a lot of lockdowns in Southeast Asia. And of course, we all know Australia and New Zealand has been pretty much locked down since the beginning, and they just recently opened up. And that situation or that context in this region in APAC gave sort of a new dynamics when it comes to how we deal with media. A lot of people now are trying to integrate a lot of purpose into what they do. And instead of just communicating, they would like to actually use their voice in order for us in order for brands to be able to help make the situations a little bit more better, especially to the consumers that they serve. A lot of technology as well was deployed because, as you all know, when people are in lockdown, there are new trends when it comes to e-commerce. People are more connected because they're always connected to their hotspots, to their Wi-Fi, and therefore that opened a lot of screens, a lot of channels for them to engage. But at the same time, human insights such as the desire for people to connect, the desire for people to basically help each other given the the difficult situation, played a lot when it comes to the makeup or the structure of the campaigns, and interestingly how they use media in general. So a lot of those trends are coming in, and it's nice to see a little bit more of humanity back into brand building, and I think it's just right given the situation where we are in right now.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's great to see that those trends kind of come out and you can see those insights. Were there any campaigns that you saw today that you thought, wow, that really is a game changer, or that really is a fantastic piece of work from the inside?
Well, okay. So I'm pulling out my notes just to make sure that I get a lot of so I can figure out my thoughts when it comes to this. But for example, there's a campaign from Cadbury, which I really, really, really adore. They were able to use their advertising space to also promote local businesses in India. And sometimes when we have opportunity to market our brands, we only think of our brands. But this is a good example of integrating a bit more purpose into what they do. So, and there's also a good play of technology there. What they did is basically, try to uh, uh, identify different small shops in different areas in India that needs help because of the pandemic. A lot of businesses are closing down, and what they were able to do is basically use the Cadbury advertising to also advertise those small shops that are in the risk of closing, and they were able to integrate technology quite well because it's geo influence, meaning they created dynamic creative, multiple creatives that changes depending on where you are and really directs you to the nearest shop that within your vicinity. And that kind of dynamism will not be able we will not be they will not be able to do without technology. So it's a good fusion of purpose and a good fusion as well of technology, and a good use of media, not just to promote a brand but also to provide something back to society. So that's quite interesting for me. There's also a campaign when it comes to McDonald's in Taiwan. Quite interesting because this is basically a traditional experiential outdoor campaign where they tried to create or they created an installation of Big Mac using elements coming from the Taiwanese culture, and the craft is amazing, from the mosaic of the tiles and everything, which amplifies national identity or cultural identity, if I may say. And the nice thing about that installation is that it also leads to commerce. And because it's so Instagrammable, it was able to connect deeply to their target group, which is basically the Gen Zs, because they are so obsessed about getting content for their Instagram. But at the same time, by doing so, they were able to drive more sales for Big Mac. And that's an amazing use of a traditional out of home ambient execution, but still was able to connect it to what they want to deliver and also what they want to sell. So I think that's a very interesting case coming from McDonald's in Taiwan.
No, fantastic. And it's good to hear that. And it's great, like you say, combining the new with the old and creating these wonderful collaborations. And I suppose the final question for us is, would you recommend being on the jury of a Festival of Media judging panel?
Of course, of course. Being a jury, of course, you get a chance to see the best of the best. And this personally is also helping me see how the industry is moving forward to be able to make my job better and more progressive when I do campaigns in Unilever, back in Unilever. But at the same time, as practitioners, we also would like to push the boundaries when it comes to excellence. And I think being a jury, you'll be able to really define where the boundary is as of the moment and where we can actually bring it together as an industry. So take it as both as a learning, a learning experience, but also an experience where you get to contribute back to the industry and help shape it for the future.
Fabulous. Thank you so much, Dennis. Much appreciated.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.